Hi, this is Anna Imagination, and welcome to The Ethical Asshole. I am your host, the Salty Bitch. I was watching a YouTube video yesterday, and there was this person there. I've seen her before, I don't know who she is. And she's clearly a very vocal, conformist, winged person. And I was analyzing her behavior, and she's a bitch. She's a downright bitch, and she's not providing solutions. She's not doing anything other than just adding to the noise. And I found her actual YouTube channel yesterday, and I watched about 2 or 3 of her videos. And there's a lot of people who are using satire to just mock the insanity of the situation, which is really all, it's not all you can do. And I went that route at one point to see if that's something I wanted to do, and it's not. And then I was just watching in general how the comments go, which direction the whole conversation goes. And I finally shut it down, stepped back, and I was thinking about it for quite a while. And it was around maybe 30 minutes after that I got this article that one of them said Crocs are now banned from schools because they pose a safety hazard and a distraction problem to the students. And I'm looking at that going, the Crocs are not the problem. The teachers not doing their job is the problem. And then I got this other thing that came in. Surgeon General warning, just declared that parenting is now hazardous to your health. And I'm like, parenting is not hazardous to your health. You not being educated about your health is hazardous to your health. And if the Surgeon General had been educated about this, he would have said so. And it's very much this inability to see the catalyst. Well, now, catalysts are invisible. It's like a thing they do. we know in science, we know this. In science, it's like rule number 1 of the catalyst. It's the thing you can't see because the symptoms are in the way. Now, medical doctors know this. They figured this out long ago. You can't do research in this stuff and not go, why is a catalyst always the thing you can't see? If you could see the catalyst, you would know to stop it. But it's not until you see the results of the catalyst that you go, oh, what caused this? And that's where you see a fever. And just to give you an idea what's going on, the Surgeon General's warning is equivalent to blaming a fever for the bubonic plague. The fever is the problem. No, the fever is not the problem. The fever is not the problem. And if you don't focus on the catalyst to address the catalyst, you're going to have a problem. The problem is no one knows what the catalyst is. It's education. Surprise, surprise, because if it were education, then we'd all know what the problem is. So it's education. And which is why people who are educated have no problems taking care of this. And I am confirmed. I know this. I know that the government currently is working to protect the educational system and keep it in place. So they're not going to actually tell you what the problem is. They're going to blame it everywhere else. They are going to make sure that there are more red herrings out there so you don't look at the educational system, despite the fact that it's filled with school shootings right now. And I just finished my 4th book in the Triadic Healing series. I finished The Salmon of Knowledge. That's done now. And yesterday, I finished The Theory of Love. Really huge. I'm so glad to put that book behind me. That was a very, very difficult book to write. So I closed that up, and that's now available on Kindle Vella. And that actually concludes the Triadic Healing series books. And there's 4 of them in the series. I am currently working on 4 more books, and these are subgenres. They are basically so the Try to Killing book series is the foundation in the right sequence, and then there's 4 more, and that's now if you want specialties. So I have a book on addiction, I have a book on business, I have a book on narcissism, and I am currently working on the handbook for optimum learning. That one's coming along beautifully. And it was in this book, the handbook for optimum learning, that I found my voice. Well, of course, I know my voice, but I found the one I want to really hone in on. And that got me thinking a lot about all that noise that's out there right now and where I'm going to be taking the healing garden. And I've decided that I do not want to be one more obnoxious voice in the crowd. What I want to do is societal solutions. And societal solutions is really, a lot of people think that they don't make a difference. They think they can't. And the people who believe this are the people who are not educated in the way society moves. And that's really what this comes down to. If you believe that a person cannot make a difference, you don't know how society moves. And that's it right there. You have no idea how society moves. You are not educated on human behavior. Because if you know how human behavior moves, if you know Newton's cradle, you have 5 balls. Society moves exactly like Newton's cradle. One ball can make the entire thing move and pass that momentum through the balls into the other one to make a move on the other end. Newton's cradle. So a person who believes that they cannot make a difference has no idea that human beings move exactly like Newton's cradle. And what I did when I built the Healing Garden and the Try to Killing program was I built it identical on purpose to Newton's cradle. I put physics in it. So when a person comes in and does the program, the first agenda we do is we calm you down. We calm you down through actual education and knowledge that's applicable and relevant to your situation. And then we give you the tools that you should have gotten in school. So we give your education an upgrade. And then we give you an assignment. And the assignment is, this is how you apply it to your life. And there's this thing out there right now where you are either a carrier or you are being carried. And we have more carriers right now, or more people being carried than there are carriers. So if you're a parent, you are probably carrying your entire family instead of teaching your children how to carry themselves, because you don't know how to, because no one's ever sat down and said, you need to teach your children how to carry themselves. So as a result, we're all mimicking because we're all in the apprentice stage. So when you are in the apprentice stage, you are mimicking. My son asked me a gorgeous question yesterday. He asked me if animals go through the same system as the mimic, mirror, repetition, response, apprentice, tradesman, master. I said, yes, they do. Everything does. If it lives, it goes through this stage. And he was wanting to know about the mimicry stage. Like, well, why do humans do it? Are humans the only ones who do it? And I said, all animals do it. The mimicry stage is the stage of apprenticeship. It's what we all do. Cats do it, dogs do it, birds do it, fish do it. Mimicry is literally how you pass data from point A to point B. It's our go-to natures. You mimic, and then you transform, and then you become. And those are the 3 stages. An apprentice is when you're mimicking. The tradesman is when you are taking on the shape. You define it. And then the mastery is when you become it. And we are not taught this. So we don't know this. And as a result, we have a lot of people who are just mimicking apprentice level, all of this toxic behavior. By the way, this is how a society has changed, is there are people who all stop doing what everybody else is doing, and they mimic something else. So we provide a nature-based, subconscious mind compatible, healthy alternative to mimic, knowing you're going to mimic this because this is what we do. And it's what Mother Nature programmed us to do. And it's compatible with your subconscious mind, which is going to reset your mind and put you back to where you should have been. Now, you get enough of that happening, and everyone's going to start mimicking it. And this is the other part. This is stage 2 of the subconscious mind. The first thing we look at is energy preservation. And the next thing the subconscious mind looks at is a value system. Subconscious mind does this instinctively. I don't have to do anything. It's beautiful. So stage 1 is the mimic stage. And what ends up happening is when people see, oh, you're saving energy, oh, and you have greater value than what I have, they switch. That's that simple. They switch. That is all they need. Oh, that's basically you found a way to get happy and save resources. Oh, I'm going over there. So they switch. And the mimic immediately picks up there. So you have stage 2 for you, but for them, it's going to be stage 1. And this is where it creates a gorgeous catch 22, where an actually positive and happy catch 22, where the mimic starts to copy the behavior that gives them energy and nourishment. And then that becomes a cycle. And then that spreads and more people do it because they see it. Oh, I see that you are using energy preservation and you have greater value. I'm going to switch. And it keeps switching over and over like this. And that's how it starts to spread. It's through our mimicry. And from that point, stage 3 is the becoming and the transformation. Now, by the time the first group becomes, there's a first group that's starting out, and then there's that energy preservation mimic starting out. So every single time you get somebody who moves into the next stage, you are setting off the next stage. You're restarting the sequence for someone else. And the people who are in the other stages graduate, basically. So you have the graduation, and then you have the new sequence starting. And that keeps happening over and over again. And that's how things spread through a society. Now, when you do this on purpose and you take into account how physics works, because this is physics, this is literally picking up momentum and then pushing it through society, what ends up happening is you can now choose how you want to do this and what you want to put in there. And this is what every business does when they build a business. They're just not being consciously aware of it or knowledgeable about it because they don't know how physics works. They don't know how human behavior works. And they don't know how psychology works. They only know how to manipulate people. So that's what they do in their marketing. And they don't know that they're actually putting that down through into their marketing. The problem is a lot of businesses put out the image of, look, I'm happy, and it's that energy preservation value greater. We see this with beer commercials. That's what this is. You see somebody who's saving energy, they are looking happier, therefore we repeat it. And this is what they're doing. The problem is it's toxic. So it gives the illusion of, oh, they're happy, we must. And that's it. They're happy, so we must. And that's it right there. So we have a lot of people end up doing that. We did that back in the 80s a lot. They're happy, so you must. And no one's ever done this with positivity. We actually did it about 4 times with positivity, but we didn't know it, which is great because we have 4 data points. So I'm really great because I'm going, oh, I know how to do this positively because we have 4 examples. The 4 examples are World War II. It's when we all band together as a community. We all said, hey, let's go collect all these resources for people. The second time we saw it is, and I just realized, oh no, last night I found another one. So I have 5 data points. The next one is Woodstock. We saw it with Woodstock. We saw it with the space race. We saw it with 9/11. And in Iceland, they do it with saving puffins. Every night, apparently it's a tradition in Iceland. The entire community goes out from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. and they save puffins. And they throw them over that's something they do. They box up their puffins. Apparently it's a thing. It's great. I was reading that, like, fascinating. And now I want to go save puffins, but I got to do research first. But the point is, we have a long history of when we have an agenda, an assignment that we have to be given an agenda. Literally, we have to be given an assignment. And a good government would be giving us an assignment. They would be giving us a positive campaign. And this is literally what it's called, is positive campaigning. Now, they did it. They did it one time, the space race, they did it. But they used positive campaigning, this is hilarious, on accident. They actually had greed based because they wanted to be the ones on the moon, not Russia. So the Americans put out a positive campaign for the space race to get us on the moon first. And then Woodstock, it just became that. 9/11, they did not plan that. 9/11, we needed that. And that's exactly it. We needed it. World War II, we needed it. They didn't realize that we need positive campaigns. A positive community campaign is a campaign that gives us an assignment as a group. And instead of us all getting angry and dumping that stupid angry energy into forums, it gives us something to focus on. And that's what they should be doing, is giving us a focal point to say, hey, you guys need to be doing X. This is what we need from you. And then they send out this massive focal point campaign. And everyone who's loyal to the government, oh, they do what the government says, which is the fourth perspectives and the third perspectives. And they, no questions asked. The government says we're going to go do, because they're good, loyal Americans. So they go do it without question. But they don't have a focal point. So they're all over the place, causing this massive nonsense. And that's what the Healing Garden is building, is a positive community campaign. That's what the Radical Global Healing Plan is it's actually a positive community campaign. And what we need to be doing is upgrading our own education and supplementing what we don't have. Now, this leads to the big question, well, which education am I missing? You are missing literally these seven subjects that everyone asks for when they say my educational system did not do me any justice and I wish I had learned. And then they list off these 7 subjects. Parenting is one of them. So the Healing Garden built those programs based off of Pythagoras' work, based off of the same material that the ancient Greeks used for their educational system. And we plugged it in using psychology and power economics with community and human economics. So we know how this will move, how we need to move, and it corrects mental illness. So when it all comes together, you have that agenda, you have the focal point, you have the positive campaign, you've got that mimic, mirror, repetition response, and then it's you are saving energy and you're happier, therefore, and then you switch it over. So getting this relief is, and this is really what it comes down to, is how many hours are you spending learning online? Everyone's doing it. It's amazing to watch. Everyone is online because everyone is learning online. That's why we watch YouTube videos. That's why we're watching all these things. There's entertainment and then there's education. The problem is the material that's out there is such garbage that a lot of people are taking in low quality, really terrible information into their minds, and they don't know how to put it into action. I watched this one YouTube video yesterday, and it was, okay, this is the plan. We've got the plan. Excellent job on that plan. Wonderful plan. We've got the plan. We did it. Confetti flies. Now we just have to do the plan. And they sit there. We just have to do it now. And they do nothing. And I've seen this. I actually have an entire, this is what I'm right now in my Optimum Learning book, is the now how to take it into actual action. And this is logic science. It's sequence building. And you can have the plan, but you're going to actually have to, there's a formula you're going to need. That's it right there, is you need a formula. There's a formula that you're supposed to be using. And a lot of people use pieces of this formula. Every time you write a list, you're using pieces of the formula. Every time you wrote a pros and cons, you are using parts of this formula. Every time you write a to-do list, you are writing a part of this formula. So everyone knows about the formula, a part of it, but they don't consciously know that they're actually using the formula. And this formula is literally the thing that moves everything from a dream and an idea over to a reality. And people don't know anything about this formula. Our intuition drives us to do it instinctively. So we do it. We do a lot of it, but we don't know we're doing it. If you studied logic, this is the education you would have. Every logician in the world, there are not many of us, every logician in the world knows this formula. And it is the formula that we use to transfer data, to transfer anything, imagination, dreams, from our brains over into reality. It is literally the bridge of, okay, it's over here in the abstract. Let's take it into the material now. And when you So this formula is literally going into my handbook for optimum learning, and it's training children and parents and adults how to take this formula, to use it to get things done, to transfer what you want from point A over to point B. And I went to bed last night with this. I got to just take today and think about how I want to take this, because there are some things with the garden I'm like, I don't like it in that direction. I want to kind of move it over here. There's a few things I'm polishing, and now I'm looking to increase the quality. Everything in the garden is done. Now it's just a matter of increasing the quality. And the thing with the garden is it's a DIY engine. It's a done for you engine. So I need to make sure that you have everything you need for this DIY journey, because it's going to be automated. It's 100% you've got to learn it. You've got to do it. It's reading, it's YouTube videos. The books are very, very clear and concise. And I'm in the process of organizing the community. So we have a community that we are looking to build here soon. And that's in our membership section. But it's extraordinary. It really is extraordinary. It's literally the education reformation. And that's really what we're doing, is an education reformation. Now, yeah, and I think this is just where I just said it, and as soon as I said it, I went, oh, that's what I'm here. I found it. So the education reformation, effective immediately, is going to be we are changing the way we do education, because what is there is not, it doesn't exist. You do not have an educational system. You have an information system. This is definitely part of the Radical Global Healing Plan. And it is literally the formula that's going to move us from where we are with education over to where we want to be. Now, we are on our own, and that's okay, because we are Gen X's. It's all right. We are the offspring of Gen X's, so it's okay. We know how to do shit on our own. Thank you, baby boomers. We know how to get shit done. And once you sit down and we're just going to do it. So the Radical Global Healing Plan is in effect. That's already in place, and it's you going through it. Overwhelm is a huge part of it. Oh my God, this is so much. That's why I have the books. The books are like 1, 2, 3, 4. Just go through them. You don't even need the first 2 books. The first 2 books every book is tailored for a different need. So the first book is for people who are in severe trauma and are not sure. If you are asking the question, do I need therapy? Read Broken. If you are asking the question, if you are mentally healthy, read Broken. That is what it's for. It is for the people who don't know if they are mentally healthy or not. For Breaking Delusion, that is for anyone who knows they're mentally unhealthy and they want to cross over and they want to kick their healing journey in the ass. Breaking Delusion will do that for you. Theory of Love walks you through the entire theory. Triadic Healing is the entire program that takes you through the entire process. And then Salmon of Knowledge is for parents who want to clean up their own lives and then clean up their children's lives. Salmon of Knowledge is it. And it's literally, this is how the education system should be in the way we are in society right now. So the education reformation, this is where I'm going with it now. And this is going to be a subgenre onto that Radical Global Healing Plan, where it's getting this from where it is into the schools, into society. And we're going to be talking about the franchise there, the Healing Garden franchise. The Healing Garden franchise is going to be a done-for-you homeschooling program. Done-for-you homeschooling. And it's our curriculum. It's what we've got. It is going to be in compliant with the U.S. government until they free us and give us free education. And until that happens, it's going to be working with the program that's there, which is we're gonna work around it. We're gonna work around it. And basically it's a spa wellness center meets homeschooling education. So you'll be sending your children to a spa all day. That's what it is. We take a massive focal point. We hone our skills into the mental environment and the learning and educational environment. We spend a lot of time on that educational environment. So we do not have teachers there. We have supervisors, and my supervisors are trained. If we have YouTube videos, we have a lot of online material, and they are masters at their vocation, and we do not settle for anything less. If they are not masters, they are not allowed in my garden. That being said, if you want to be a supervisor at the Healing Garden, you have to be a master at your vocation. If you come in saying, well, I'm a teacher, I'm certified, I don't want you. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't want you. If you are humble and you're willing to give up the term teacher, and if you really are a master, okay, we'll talk. But this is an environment where quality speaks for itself, not a degree. There's just nothing else. Quality. I want to see master level skills. I just found a couple people online, and what I do is I go on YouTube and I scout for masters in their field. And when I find somebody, I drop them into the curriculum so you can see this is a master at their profession. This is a master. So people can understand, oh, they're good. Yes, that's a master. And that gives you that relativity so you can compare, this is math, and see, oh, if that's a master, well then. John Cleese just did this whole comic routine, but he wasn't, well, it's John Cleese humor, so it's going to be a comic routine no matter what he does. But he was explaining that one of his dear friends, a professor at a university, was explaining that in order to know how stupid you are, you have to have a metric. It's mandatory, and it's true. This is my stupid soapbox. I have a stupid soapbox. I need to just admit it. I have a stupid soapbox. There you go. I have a stupid soapbox. I have my Hoover Dam soapbox, and now I've got a stupid soapbox. So he basically said everything I said, but politely. So I just took John Cleese's thing and I dropped it into my curriculum. So, and there it is. And what he explains is you cannot know how smart you are unless you know how stupid you are. You're going to need that metric. And it's true. You have to be a master at a skill. And then it's okay, this is my skill. Now you have relativity. But then in order to understand how smart you are, you have to know how stupid you are, which means you need to take a vocation you are bad at. And you need to look at where you are in comparison and relativity to that. I love this because this is exactly what I used in my brain when I went, oh, I'm really smart with that, but I'm really stupid with this. And I was able to sit down and take them both side by side and go, okay, if this is my metric for that, then this is, oh, and it's extraordinary. And every time I step into that vocation, I can feel it. I'm like, wow, I am like incompetent, which is great. And now I have something to aspire to. And now you have an understanding of where you are in relativity to something. So, and it's once you have those two, once you have something you have mastered, and once you have something that you are really bad at, when you compare the two of them, you have the ability to measure your own knowledge. Here's the thing. You also have the ability to measure everyone else's. That's why I'm so pissed. That's why I'm so pissed. There's a lot of vaunters out there going, I'm a genius. No, you're not. Can you measure it? Because if you can't measure it, then you're not a genius. I mean, a genius can measure their own intelligence. Can you measure it? If you think you're smart, you should be able to measure it. If you can't measure it, you're not smart. You have to be able to measure your own intelligence. So if you think you're a master at something, you have to be able to measure it. If you can't measure your own mastery, you're not a master. Game over. There's going to be a lot of people who cannot do this. So if someone comes to you and tells you, oh yeah, I'm an expert, can you measure it? Can you measure it? Now this is where they're going to lie to you. They're going to throw a whole lot of red herrings at you. Well, I've accomplished this. Well, I have that. No, can you measure it? Because a degree is not how you measure intelligence. And if they were smart, they'd know that. They just failed. So now you have a way of telling a scammer from the real deal. Oh yeah, we're definitely going to talk about this more in the Education Reformation. Definitely. We're going to be talking a lot about this. So yeah, we're going this route with it. Absolutely. Beautiful. So the courses are going to get a makeover. The the physical appearance is beautiful. I love the garden is gorgeous right now. I absolutely love the way she's looking, and I'm like, yep, this is the way she is. This is how I've been wanting her for a long time. And so I'm going to go through and give the content an upgrade to make sure that the content meets my standards, quality, and I'm removing all the bias, all of it. And then I have my books done. The Radical Global Healing Plan is in place. So now the Education Reformation. And the Education Reformation is literally the bridge that's going to take us from point A over to point B. So you might have the how, you might have the here's the program, here's the resources, but the Education Reformation is going to be the actual walkthrough to get you from point A to point B to transfer you over. The information is available on my website, www.anashealinggarden.org. Thank you so much, and may the kindest of words always find you.